Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. How you people are? Okay, let's start today's lecture. Today we are going to study the scalp. Scalp is made up of, you can see it is made up of S, C, A, L and P. Five words. S, C, A, L, P. So each alphabet is for a layer, which showing a layer. S for skin, C for connective tissue, A for aponeurosis, and L for loose connective tissue, and P for pericranium. Okay, so all these words are showing each layer, and there are the 5 layers which are covering the scalp. So we will discuss one by one. First I have told you that the names of these. Okay, so first is the skin. This is the skin. This is the skin in which we have the hair on our scalp. And let me tell you one thing, that the first three layers are very strictly bound to each other, and the next two are comparatively less bound. Okay, so the first one is the skin, which is just covering the scalp, and it has many sebaceous glands. Okay, next comes the connective tissue. This is the connective tissue. This is the connective tissue layer. This is the second layer. Sorry. S for skin, C for connective tissue. So this is the connective tissue layer, which is behind the skin, and it has many you can see it has veins, it has arteries, it has lymph vessels, and many others. Okay, it has veins which are just communicating with the venous sinuses present in the venous dura mater. Okay, so the veins are just communicating with it. Arteries over here are also, numerous arteries are present. And let's move to the next layer. Next layer is this one, shown in green. Yes, this layer is the aponeurosis. Basically it is the aponeurosis of the scalp muscle. Scalp muscle is the occipitofrontalis muscle. It is occipitofrontalis muscle is basically a muscle which is covering the scalp. So its aponeurosis is over here. Aponeurosis is over here. Okay, so these three layers are very strictly bound to each other: skin, connective tissue, and aponeurosis. These three layers are very strictly bound to each other. Okay, next move to the next layer, which is the fourth one, and which is 1 and 2 and 3, and this is the fourth, and the yellow. You can see in the yellow. Yes, this one. This is basically loose alveolar tissue. Okay, this is the loose alveolar tissue. Basically, there is a space behind this aponeurosis, and this space is covered with this areolar tissue. Okay, so the space behind the aponeurosis is covered by the areolar tissue, which is behind the aponeurosis, and which is forming the fourth layer of the scalp. And let me tell you that we have discussed already that these three layers are bound to each other, and behind the third layer there is a space, which means that it is not bound to third layer. So these third and fourth layer are this fourth and fifth layer are separate, and first three layers are forming like a single layer. Okay, next is the fifth one, and this is the fifth one. Okay, this is the fifth one layer, and this is basically the pericranium. This is the cranium, this is cranium, this is the cranium bone, and on the cranium, on the bone, on the every bone, there is the periosteum present, and on the cranium there is the pericranium present, which is not strictly bound to the loose areolar tissue, and loose areolar tissue is not strictly bound to aponeurosis, and aponeurosis, connective tissue and skin are strictly bound and thus forming a single layer. Okay, so let me tell you one thing more about this periosteum, about this pericranium layer, that this pericranium layer is continuous with the inferior one where the sutures are present. Okay, when one bone is ending and the other bone is starting, what happens? The outer part and the inner part becomes continuous. So where the sutures are present, the joints over here are called sutures. So where the sutures are present, the outer side will just come downward and it will merge with the lower one. Okay, so it will form a single layer. Okay, this is all about the layers of the scalp. So now we will discuss the nerve supply, sensory nerve supply of the of the scalp. So move to the other diagram. I guess yes, it's good one. It's explaining you everything. Okay. Yeah. This picture is showing the sensory supply of sorry, sensory supply of the scalp. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and these two are supplying the scalp from behind, and these are supplying the scalp from front. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4 are supplying on the front side, and 1 and 2 are supplying from the back side. Okay, the back side, the posterior side of the scalp are supplied by the two nerves. One is the greater occipital nerve. This greater occipital nerve is basically coming from the second cervical nerve. Okay, this greater occipital nerve, you can see it is supplying the large area, that's why it is called the greater. Okay, so greater occipital nerve is basically coming from the second cervical nerve. And what about this lesser occipital nerve? Lesser occipital is why? Because it's supplying posteriorly, so it's occipital, and lesser because it's small one. So that's why it is supplying the small area. That's why we say it a lesser occipital nerve. It is basically branch of. It is coming from the cervical plexus. It is coming from lesser cervical occipital nerve is coming from the cervical plexus, and the greater occipital nerve is coming from the second cervical nerve. Okay. Now we discuss the nerves present on the anterior region. The first one, this nerve is the supratrochlear nerve. Supratrochlear and supraorbital. We will discuss both of these together. Why? Because these are the branches of same nerve. You people remember that the trigeminal nerve. The trigeminal nerve has three basic mandibular. This is the ophthalmic and mandibular and maxillary. So these three are these 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the four nerves which are supplying the anterior part of the scalp. So out of 4, these two are the branches of the ophthalmic division of the trigeminal nerve, and this is the auriculotemporal nerve. This is the basically coming from the mandibular, and this is from the maxillary. So all the anterior part of the scalp are supplied by the branches of the trigeminal nerve. Two supratrochlear and supraorbital are the branches of the ophthalmic. Ophthalmic is the branch of the trigeminal, and then auriculotemporal, which is the branch of the mandibular, and then we have the zygomaticotemporal, which is the branch of maxillary nerve. So all this part is supplied by the trigeminal nerve. The three branches of the trigeminal nerve: the ophthalmic division, maxillary division, and mandibular division. Okay. one branch from the branch from the mandible, and one from the maxillary, and two from the ophthalmic, and that's why the four branches are supplying over here. I guess it's completed. So thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.